Regardless of your operating system or device type, whether you use a desktop or mobile device, you almost certainly have a web browser installed and use it regularly. Since the primary purpose of a web browser is to let you access the internet, it often becomes the first target of attack, the weakest link in the security chain. This is precisely why it is important to first choose a good web browser that provides an adequate level of security by default, and then apply additional settings to strengthen those security measures, a process known as hardening. In this video, we will cover Firefox browser settings aimed at improving privacy and security during everyday internet use. Firefox is one of the few modern web browsers that gives users a high degree of control over their own data. Unlike browsers based on Google Chrome platform, Firefox offers a range of advanced options that allows you to decide what is tracked, what is stored, and what is shared. The aim of this video is not to overwhelm you with the technical details, but to walk you through the concrete steps that anyone can apply, regardless of their technical knowledge level, in order to achieve a high level of privacy and security during the everyday internet use. First, click the hamburger menu in the top right corner, then select Settings. This will present all settings grouped into logical categories visible in the left-hand panel. In the General section, toward the bottom of the list, you will find two options: Recommend extensions as you browse and Recommend features as you browse. These two options essentially collect data about your behavior and Firefox usage in order to suggest extensions and features you might want to use within the browser. If you want to disable this data collection, simply uncheck both options. Clicking on the Home section gives you the options for configuring your home page, the page that loads first when you open the browser. Using the drop-down menu in this section, you can choose between Firefox Home, a custom URL of your choice, or a blank page. You can also disable ads displayed on the home page by unchecking Sponsored Shortcuts and Sponsored Stories. That is the section labeled Support Firefox. In this segment, you can additionally disable shortcuts, the quick access styles shown on the home page, as well as web search. In the search section, you can set your default search engine. Google is selected by default, but the recommendation is to change this to DuckDuckGo or another privacy-focused search engine. This section also allows you to disable search suggestions. In order to generate search suggestions, the browser needs to monitor your behavior. That is, what you type, which sites you visit, and so on. If you want to disable this, turn off all options under Search Suggestions and all options under Address Bar. When you click on the Privacy and Security section, you will first notice that the standard is selected under Enhanced Tracking Protection. In addition to standard, there is also custom and strict options. The custom option lets you configure settings manually. For example, deciding how Firefox should handle cookies generated when you visit or log into a website, whether to block tracking on all pages or only in private mode, and so on. If you don't want to configure settings manually but still want to improve your security while browsing, select second option, that is, strict, which offers pre-configured settings suitable for most users. Next is the option Tell websites not to sell or share my data. When checked, Firefox will send a request to the websites you visit asking them not to collect or sell your data. It is worth noting that there is no guarantees every website will comply, but sites that follow legal procedures are likely to respect this instruction, which is why it is recommended to enable it. Unlike Google Chrome-based browsers, Firefox allows you to view and remove cookies and other data that have been saved on your computer as a result of your browsing activity. By clicking Manage Browsing Data in the Cookies and Site Data section, you will display a list of all websites you have visited, along with the number of cookies stored, the size of the stored data, and the date of your last visit. You can remove all of this data by clicking Remove All. However, if you are logged into any of these listed sites, deleting this data will also remove your login information. and you will need to re-enter your username and password the next time you visit the given site. To avoid this, you can delete data only for sites you no longer need by clicking on the site's name and then on Remove Selected. Once you have removed all unwanted sites from the list, click Save Changes. You will then see a summary of sites you have marked for removal. To confirm, click Remove or Clear Now if you selected the Remove All option. In addition to removing stored data, clicking on Clear Browser Data gives you the option to choose what you want to delete: browsing history, cookies, temporary files, logs, and site-specific settings. Using the drop-down menu, you can also specify the time range for which you want to delete this data. The recommendation is to select everything and then on the list check all options except cookies and site data and site settings, so that login data for sites you have signed into is not deleted. Next are the settings related to the saving passwords used for logging in. While it is convenient to allow the browser to automatically save and fill in passwords, the downside is that passwords are stored locally as files on your computer. If someone gains unauthorized access to your device or if it becomes infected with a virus or malware, these files are likely to be the first target and your accounts could be compromised. For the same reasons, it is also recommended to uncheck payment methods and addresses and more. In this way, disabling not only password saving but also the storing of payment methods, addresses, and other personal data. Following this is the Firefox Data Collection and Use section, which lists all the data Firefox collects. Although this is done for the purpose of improving the application and it is collected in anonymous form, if you wish to disable it, simply uncheck all options in this list. You will then receive a notification stating you are no longer allowing Mozilla to capture technical and interaction data. All past data will be deleted within 30 days. The HTTPS only mode option lets you choose when to use Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, the secure version of the HTTP protocol used to transfer data between your browser and the web servers. The recommendation is to select the first option, Enable HTTPS only mode in all windows. Enabling this will automatically redirect every HTTP request through the HTTPS. If a site does not support HTTPS, Firefox will warn you and ask for your approval before proceeding, or display an error. Next are the DNS over HTTPS settings, which lets you determine when DNS over HTTPS will be used. Here, the recommendation is to select Increase Protection and then under Choose Provider, configure either Cloudflare or Quad9 by entering the address of your preferred DNS provider. Links for the both options will be in the video description. In the Sync section, you can optionally create a Mozilla account, which allows you to automatically save all your settings. When you sign in with this account on another computer, all settings will be applied automatically without needing to reconfigure anything. After creating an account, clicking Manage Sync will display a list of everything being synced through your Mozilla account. To disable any individual item, such as browsing history, passwords, or payment methods, simply uncheck it. The new section Firefox has added is AI Controls, where you can block the use of AI features within the browser. Simply click the toggle under Block AI Enhancements and you will see a list of everything that will be blocked. To confirm your choice, click Block button. Also, if you don't want to block all AI features, the On-Device AI section allows you to block individual options by clicking the drop-down menu next to the feature you want to manage and select Block or Enable if you want to turn it on. After completing these settings, we will also install a few extensions, specifically the ones I personally use to enhance privacy and security. You can install all of them or only the ones you find suitable for your needs. uBlockOrigin, a well-known extension for blocking ads, tracking scripts, suspicious domains, and other unwanted content. This extension is no longer fully supported in Chromium-based browsers. Only a light version is available in Google Chrome. In Firefox, however, the full version of uBlockOrigin remains available, making it likely the best solution if you are looking to block ads. Privacy Badger automatically blocks tracking of your behavior across websites you visit. A major advantage of this extension is that it does not rely on pre-defined lists. Instead, blocking decisions are made based on observed behavior. DuckDuckGo Privacy Essentials block tracking scripts and unnecessary cookie elements, and offers email address protection through the use of aliases. Installing this extension will also set your default search engine to DuckDuckGo. Clear URLs removes tracking parameters from web addresses. Any parameters identified as tracking elements will be stripped, leaving only the components necessary for the site to function. NoScript blocks all JavaScript elements on websites that are not on a whitelist. The downside is that it will prevent many websites from functioning normally, as most modern sites rely heavily on JavaScript. However, the advantage is that it gives you full control, presenting a list of all JavaScript elements being executed and allowing you to decide which one you permit. Permission can be granted temporarily or permanently depending on whether you trust the site. While it may feel frustrating at first for new users, once you have granted permission for the trusted sites you visit most often, this extension can be highly beneficial, not only by blocking unnecessary tracking, but also by blocking potential viruses and malware that execute through JavaScript. Decentralize intercepts network requests to CDN, Content Delivery Network servers, and serves local copies of the requested libraries from its own storage. This prevents tracking through CDNs. Canvas Blocker prevents websites from accurately identifying your device. The Canvas AP allows websites to collect various details about your computer, such as your graphics card driver, screen resolution, operating system, browser you are using, and so on. This extension counters this by sending falsified data to websites, preventing identification based on your specific hardware and software configuration. Cookies Auto Delete automatically removes cookies stored on your browser. Cookies you wish to keep can be added to an exceptions list, and everything else will be automatically deleted after you leave the respective website. On the topic of extensions, a major advantage of Firefox over other browsers is that it allows you to install and use extensions on mobile devices as well, providing a consistent experience across both your desktop and mobile devices. Finally, it is worth mentioning another useful feature Firefox offers: container tabs. This feature allows you to maintain multiple separated profiles that operate in isolation from one another. In the General section of Settings, you will find the option Enable Container Tabs. Clicking Settings next to it will show 4 default profiles: Personal, Work, Banking, and Shopping. You can add new containers by clicking Add New Container and defining a name and optionally a color and icon. Containers you no longer need can be deleted at any time. Deleting one profile does not affect others, as each container is a self-contained unit with its own local storage, cookies, browsing history, and other data. Feel free to leave any questions, suggestions, or ideas for future video content in the comments. Thanks to everyone who took the time to watch this video. I hope you find it useful or at least informative.